Hi cuties, my name is Hanako Kozumi and this is the channel Nerdy Nekoma. Everything here is about Haikyuu chat stories and fanfic. Thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. And with that, welcome to today's video. It's called Drunk and it's more on the comedic side. We have the ships Ushiten, KuroKen, BokuAka, DaiSuga and implied DaiSugaIwaOi, and of course MatsuHana. Now, I don't know what more to say about this, so let's just start with the video. Why are we here again? Here was in front of a club, or bar. Kenma wasn't really certain. Except for the fact that he would usually avoid places like this to the best of his abilities. We met Akaashi and him, Akaashi being the only reason why he followed these idiots. The idiots were Oikawa and Tendo, who seemed excited enough that one would think they were drunk already. Because it's going to be fun, Ken-chan. Yeah. Or are you afraid, Nico? Kenma furrowed his brows. Not only were the nicknames more than annoying, but they also obviously tried to tease him. He huffed. Let's be nice and have a good time, yes? Suga appeared behind Oikawa and put a hand on his back. Of course! Tonight is going to be awesome! He smiled brightly and winked at Suga before entering the building. The others followed closely behind. Don't worry, Kenma. I'll keep an eye on them, and you can leave whenever you like. Now? Kenma sighed. He appreciated Suga's kindness as much as he hated it right now. If it wasn't for him, he would probably try to leave already, but for his sake, he might give it a chance. A few minutes wouldn't hurt anyone, right? Kenma, come here. Akaashi waved him over to a table more at the back of the room, where it wasn't as crowded. He offered him a seat next to the wall and put himself between the smaller and any stranger that passed by. Oh my, Oikawa, starting fancy today? Maki referred to the colorful cocktail a waiter placed in front of the setter, who laughed. Sure do. To Kenma, the colorful liquid looked just suspicious, like a mystery potion in a video game with an unknown effect. It could be either very good or very bad. Not necessarily a chance he was willing to take on his first night out. Suga laughed as he noticed the younger's calculating look. Here, if you are unsure what to order, you can try my drink. Who knows, you might like it. He handed him his glass containing a transparent liquid. At least it didn't look like unicorn vomit. He tried and immediately regretted it. It was bitter and burnt on his tongue. His cough was almost loud enough to drown out Tendo's and Oikawa's laughter. Looks like the kitty is a lightweight. Kenma glared at him while wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. Suga next to him failed to suppress a chuckle, and even Akaashi's lips were pressed together to stop himself from smiling. He gently pushed his own drink over to Kenma, who backed away from it as if the beverage was explosive, and Akaashi's gesture an act of pure hatred towards him. If looks could kill. Don't worry, this one is sweet. The only downside is that the combination of sugar and alcohol can make you drunk pretty quickly. He gave him an encouraging smile and Kenma sighed. His eyes remained focused on Akaashi as if silently warning him. This drink better put the flames in his mouth to rest, or he would leave right then and there. When the first drops hit his tongue, he pulled away out of fear. It took his brain a few seconds to notice, but this actually tasted good. Another round of laughter, accompanied by applause, followed when he took another sip. That's it, Ken-chan. Now you got it. Don't ruin it by driving him away now, Kawa. I don't know what you mean. He's doing great. Kenma's face heated up under all the attention he was receiving. Kawa, talking about doing good. If I wouldn't have been here the whole time, I could swear you had 1 or 2 drinks already. Suga smirked teasingly, which Oikawa answered with an equally as smug expression as he leaned over to him. I see you've chosen sassy today. He whispered the words close to his ear before pulling away again. But I'm just enjoying myself. What about it? That's what we're here for after all, right? Who knows? Maybe I'm just here to enjoy the view of your sexy drunken ass. He winked at the taller. Tendo played with his glass and casually leaned over to Maki. And their boyfriends are fine with this? You can practically see the sexual tension. Maki laughed. Yeah, they're fine with it. It's some kind of arrangement between them. You know how it is. Iwa couldn't say no to Kawa even if he wanted to. For real? You kidding me? Nah, it was always like that. Tendo burst out laughing and threw his head back. Sage's stoic gaze has a weak point for his setter. How disgustingly cute. Yeah, it's so freaking obvious, yet it took them forever to notice. Shut up! Kenma watched the interaction, still contemplating if it was worth listening to the chaos. So, do you like the drink? Oh, yes. Should I order one for you? Yeah, thanks. Akaashi smiled and reassuringly patted over his arm. You tell me if at any point you want to get out of here. They might come on strong, but everyone here understands if you want to leave. He nodded slowly. I'll keep it in mind. He wasn't sure what made him stay. Maybe the excited sparkle in Kuro's eyes when he finally agreed to accept the offer. Some BS of him finally making friends or something. Or maybe because so far it actually wasn't as bad and he had a bunch of backup plans ready in his head. The waiter placed his drink on the table. Or maybe because he actually really liked this drink. It tasted sweet, a bit like the energy drinks he drank to stay up for certain video game events. Don't you think it's a bit strong for his first time drinking, Keiji? I can talk for myself. He likes it, and we are with him. What's the worst that could happen? Of course. So, are you willing to take the risk, Neko? The redhead narrowed his eyes at Kenma, who in response did the same and reached for the glass. Not many people were able to provoke him, but this Tendo sure wasn't like most of them. Hey, babe. Matsun already expected something like this. He had his jacket and keys ready and was honestly surprised that Maki called this late. Regardless. This early? And I thought you guys wanted to party. Maki laughed at the other end of the line, and it didn't take a genius to realize that he was drunk. And I thought you wanted to stay sober to, and I quote, laugh at the others. Another laugh. You should see them. Compared to them, I am sober. Matsu made his way towards the car. Even Kenma? Yup. I think he can't really decide between being tired and wanting to, I don't know, hit someone, judging by his gaze. You should have seen it. At some point, Tendo started building a card house. Don't ask me where he got the cards from. But anyway, so he was building... Babe, you need to tell me where you are. No, let me finish. So, as I was saying, he built a house of cards and... The middle blocker rolled his eyes. He wanted to get this over with, but he knew very well if he pissed Maki off now, the other would pout and refuse to give his location away. He always got really childish when drunk. And when not. And Kenma just pushed that thing over, talking something about a power-up. But he looked totally smug later, so I think it was just an excuse. Maki laughed again. That's great, babe. But could you please tell me where you are now? Oh yeah, sure. He gave him the address. Oh, and bring the others. Why? First, because they need to see this. Second, because Akaashi refuses to talk to almost anyone and just repeats over and over again that he has a boyfriend. I think only that Allies or whatever can get him out of here. You mean Bokuto? Yeah, that one. Fine, I'll be there in about half an hour. Think you can survive for that long? All of us? Yes, all of you. Oh, in that case, better hurry. I think Tendo and Kenma provoke each other to see who will start a fight first. And Oikawa and Suga are this close to eating each other. Bye. What? Hiro? But the other had just ended the call. Matsu looked at his phone dumbfounded. When he arrived at the building, he picked Iwaizumi up on the way. Bokuto was right behind them, Kuro in the passenger seat, followed by Ushijima and Daichi. Hey, Matsun, how are you doing? Better than our boyfriends, as it seems. Kuro laughed. I still can't believe that Kenma is supposed to be drunk. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be the type to do that. Not the type? I would have bet all my money on it that he would neither like the taste nor the effect alcohol has. I was waiting for his call all night. I only know what Maki told me, which wasn't much. Just that Kenma destroyed Tendo's house of cards and that they are teasing each other or something. Ushijima furrowed his brows and Bokuto burst out laughing. I can't wait to see that. Iwaizumi rolled his eyes. Can we get inside before they do something stupid? The sight in front of them was chaotic, glorious, messy, but most of all, unexpected. Kenma and Tendo were battling each other in a staring contest, the smaller halfway laying on the table, looking up at the taller towering over him. Kenma had a death glare while Tendo looked at him daring. Both of them were a mess. Faces flushed bright red, hair down, and by no means resembling their usual style. Yet, they were nothing compared to Suga and Oikawa behind them, who were observing the scene. Or rather, Oikawa was, as he sucked hickeys onto Sugawara's neck. Maki stood by the side, and it was hard to say if he was cheering them on or laughing at them. Probably both. And in the darkest corner sat Akaashi, staring into nothing with his glass still in hand. What in the actual hell? Dude, not sure if that's important, but I think Kenma's winning. Bokuto tapped Kuro's arm. They all turned to Bokuto. That's what you're concentrating on? Actually, Kenma looks tired. I think Satori will win. Daichi looked at Ushiwaka incredulously. At least their boyfriends had an excuse for acting, well, drunk and therefore potentially stupid, but what was up with the two aces standing here and discussing the results of a staring contest they weren't even participating in as if it was the most normal thing in the world? Oi, Kenma. Shh. The other hushed him harshly and pointed a finger in his direction. At least he tried, but he ended up pointing at Maki, whose laugh immediately intensified. It irritated the blonde, but still, he didn't look away once. Tendo, on the other hand... Toshi! He shouted through the whole building, which earned them a warning look from the staff. I'm sorry, we're here to pick them up, don't worry. Daichi gave a quick bow to the woman working behind the bar, who eyed them closely. The redhead didn't even notice and jumped up, stumbling on the way and falling directly into Ushijima's arms. Toshi, you're here for me? His eyes were blown wide and filled with tears as he looked up at the ace in utter awe. Only for you, Satori. His tears spilled over and he threw himself around Ushijima's neck. The other caught him effortlessly and held him tight. I love you, Toshi. His words were slurred and he allowed his head to slump against Ushijima's shoulder, all the tension slowly leaving his body. I love you too, Satori. He did his best to position the other comfortably in his arms. Toshi... Yes, love? Tendo whined. I'm tired and cold. I want to go home. Ushijima nodded. We'll go home now, I promise. He turned to Daichi. Savamura? Don't worry, you go already. This might take a bit. Iwaizumi laughed. Oh yeah, I remember the last time they got drunk together and refused to let go of the table if we tried to separate them. Koshi usually is quite tame when drunk, except if he's with others, especially Toru. He looked at Iwa, who raised an eyebrow. Oh, I'm sorry. Suga always calls him that. I guess it rubbed off on me. Nah, I don't think he would mind. Well, you guys can stay with us. I live quite close, so we wouldn't need a ride there. Oshijima and Matsun, you can collect your boyfriends and go, while we leave with ours. Okay. I can try, but I doubt Maki would want to leave when the drama starts. Iwaizumi laughed. Yeah, I can imagine. Oshijima left, carrying Tendo bridal style. It earned them quite a few looks, but none of them cared. The ace was just focused on getting his boyfriend home safely, and Tendo was preoccupied with simultaneously drooling over his muscular biceps and looking at his face like a love-struck teenager. Meanwhile, Kuro had made his way towards Kenma, whose head rested on top of the table. His eyes were glossy and unfocused, and he seemed very indecisive about the whole situation. Kenma? Kuro gently brushed a few strands of hair from his face. The other chuckled quietly and lifted his head slightly to grin at Kuro. I won. He slumped down on the table again. Jeez, Kenma. Yeah, Tendo said the Neko was a lightweight, but he drank quite a lot. It's drank, stupid. You drank. Huh. Even drunk, you're still a teacher, Suga. The silver-haired laughed in a way only drunk people did. Yeah, I'm smart. He laughed again, this time at his own words. Kenma? Kuro tried getting his boyfriend's attention again, but the other just sent a death glare in his direction. It wasn't as effective when he didn't even manage to look at Kuro directly. Akaashi, I thought you wanted to keep an eye on him. The black-haired setter moved back into his dark corner even further. I have a boyfriend. He mumbled the words. What? I said I have a boyfriend. Kuro flinched away when he suddenly raised his voice and stared him down angrily. Oikawa to his right burst out laughing along with Hanamaki, who still effectively ditched Matsun's attempts to get him into the car. Okay. Kuro raised his hands in defense, which somehow made Oikawa laugh even harder and Akaashi even madder before he started crying? Bro! Hey, I haven't done anything. Kuro looked helplessly at Akaashi and Bokuto, who immediately rushed over to his setter. No! He pushed Bokuto away before he could even reach him. I have a boyfriend. Go away. Akaashi pouted and turned his back towards Bokuto, who was obviously overwhelmed. More tears fell from Akaashi's eyes and Bokuto watched him helplessly, his hands still in the air, halfway reaching for the other. I want Bo. I want my Bokuto. The cries shook his body. Baby owl, I'm right here. The raven had turned around slightly, scanning him from head to toe before turning around again like a stubborn toddler. No. You're not Bo. Kuro could practically hear Bokuto's heart shatter. Babe. I want my Bo. He's the sweetest, most perfect person ever. And it was fixed again. He was glad. Kuro was sure that he couldn't handle Bokuto's emo mode on top of this. Ah, baby. Akaashi glared at him. Go away. For a moment, Bokuto seemed to think really hard. A rare sight. And what if I bring you to Bo? The setter gave him a calculated look. How? I will drive you home. We just need to drop off Koro and Kenma on the way. Akaashi thought about it. Bo has a friend called Koro and Kenma? Yeah! The setter gave him a calculating look, obviously still suspicious, before shrugging his shoulders and slowly climbing out of the corner. Okay. He stumbled and had problems walking straight, but as soon as Bokuto got too close to help him, he glared at him and backed away. Very gracefully, Akaashi made his way towards the door, glaring at anyone. Remind me to never let him go drinking on his own. Anybody could kidnap him like this. Kuro nodded seriously and looked over at the almost unconscious Kenma. Both of them. Hey, kitten? Can I pick you up? We'll bring you home. Okay. The blonde yawned. Without much effort, Kuro lifted the smaller into his arms and carried him to the car, accompanied by Bokuto, who looked out for Akaashi to the best of his abilities. I guess that leaves us. Thanks for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed this first part, and yeah, it was my first try at comedy. I hope I succeeded. Leave your opinions in the comments. I would love to hear it. I would love to read it. Also, if you like this video, please consider leaving a like, because it really helps my channel grow. And if you want to see more, there are going to be more parts of it, I promise. If you want to see more, consider subscribing so that you won't miss out on anything in the future. And now, have a wonderful and amazing day. Also, kind of important, though I forgot to say it, this is all post time skip, so they're all adults, they're allowed to drink alcohol, it's all cool.